Muhami Matters with Chris Adams, powered by CJA Consulting.
None of us start off in business thinking, I need more friends.
On your shirt it says, be more Buffalo. What on earth does that mean? I still don't know.
As the business is growing, my ambition is growing, and it's growing probably disproportionately because now my vision is up here.
Welcome to Muhami Matters, where credibility meets clarity in legal and professional services. I'm your host, Chris Adams, founder of CJA Consulting and Muhami. Each episode, we connect you with trusted experts, respected industry leaders, and practical insights designed to empower you on your business journey. Today, I'm joined by Jamie Stewart, founder of Circle Networks. Jamie Stewart is a passionate entrepreneur and CEO and founder of Circle Networks, originally a UK-based online networking company, but now he's expanded across the world and really focused on the values that he can bring to the business community and especially to small business owners. He's on a mission to help entrepreneurs and small business owners who are feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and lonely, to help them get organized and be successful and be genuinely connected to others who they can work with. Now, I'm putting words in his mouth, but Jamie apparently believes that businesses thrive when built on authentic relationship experiences. His works transform networking into a meaningful, collaborative environment to create loyal partnerships through that, referral generating partnerships with personal friendships. So thank you for joining us today, Jamie, and thank you for that wonderful intro. It feels like someone, maybe someone who really likes you has written that.
It's funny that, isn't it? And that is probably the perfect explanation of why networking is different to sales.
Yeah.
I couldn't write that about myself because it feels like I'm bragging.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm amazing at networking and helping build a network. So I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because we're all
I think you're really good.
Thank you.
But I can say that.
But it's true, isn't it? So yes, I had somebody else write that for me because we're not the best at shouting about how good we are at doing things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand it. I definitely feel that way myself. So tell us a bit about Circle Networks. Why did you found it?
Out of frustration, really. I think that's where some of the best businesses come from. So when COVID hit and the world went online and we all stayed at home, we didn't have a choice with networking. We had to network on Zoom. And I think what most people did was they took what they did in person in a room and crammed that into Zoom. So for a lot of people, that meant joining an online event where it's a big Zoom room with everybody on mute, and out of a 90-minute event, you're allowed to unmute yourself for 60 seconds to do your pitch. So basically, come to this networking event where you're going to listen to loads of pitches, and then we'll let you do yours. And I just didn't enjoy it.
Not much fun. Not much fun.
The bit that I enjoy from networking is having conversations with people. And if you think about most networking that you do, the formal part of networking is very passive. We're just sat there listening, waiting for our turn. The bit that you build relationships is usually before and after, where you're having a coffee with 2 or 3 people. And that's where everyone's relaxed and that's where you pass the time of it. What did you get up to this weekend?
Yeah.
What's exciting? What's going on? And I wanted to bring that into Zoom. And I found that when we first started, we do in-person events now as well, but when we first started, small breakout rooms were like those coffee break moments where you're chatting with your friends.
I love it. I love it. I've joined a few Circle Network events and I'm just talking to friends. It's just having a casual conversation and then we talk business, but it's just in a passive way. So I really enjoy it. Now, on your shirt, it says, be more Buffalo. What on earth does that mean? I still don't know. I thought it was your fiance talking about how you're a strong rugby player.
No, not in this context.
Right.
So you might not know that buffalo are the only animals in the world that when a storm comes, they turn to face it. And when it gets close, rather than running away, they charge through it together.
Right.
By doing that, as the storm comes in, they do it, they charge through it, they get through it quicker. All other animals turn to try and run away, and by trying to outrun the storm, end up underneath it for longer. More pain, more discomfort, more procrastination. And I think in business we do that. We put things off. So it's a mindset. If you were just to be more buffalo and charge towards the storms, the things that you keep putting off, that awkward conversation, usually they're not as bad as we think. It's the thought of things usually which is worse than actually doing. It might be picking up the phone and ringing somebody to follow up on something. It might be asking somebody, can we have a meeting? It might be closing the business. It could be doing your accounts. We've all got different things that we just put off. And if you were to be more buffalo and charge towards the storm, you get more stuff done.
It's very true. I think that's probably very true, and something I'm probably guilty of not being buffalo enough sometimes. Definitely as a solopreneur, as a business owner, it's quite overwhelming. And you're right, it's a lot of things get on and put on the to-do list and push back day after day after day. If I was more buffalo and just charged at them, I'd get more done and achieve a lot and feel a lot better. So you have a few different sayings as well. The mantra you have is friendship fuels business. So you alluded to that at the beginning, I think, in why you founded Circle Networks and sitting around the fireplace having a chat. Tell us more.
So when I first started Circle Networks, it was just Circle Networks. We run events. We're building this community. And then I did quite a bit of work on the brand values. And one of them, which has become our strapline now, is friendship fuels business. None of us start off in business thinking, I need more friends. We don't. We just want clients. That's usually why people get involved in networking and building their network. You know, if we go to our personal lives, we don't go on one date and get married, usually. Or if you do, it might not work out.
Yeah, unless you're in Vegas, maybe. But yeah.
So we'll build relationships with people. So we'll meet somebody, we start getting to know each other, we go on dates, we'll introduce them to our friends, to our family, we might move in together. Then at some point we might get married and have kids. Not all in that order, but that's the usual flow. Along the way, we meet some people who it doesn't work out. The same in business. So if we go networking, I'm not going to introduce you to my best clients and my best connections based on meeting you once. So it's not going to be, unfortunately, Chris, one date and we get married. You've got to build a relationship with people. And when we build good friendships with people, if we become good friends, which we have, we're more likely to. I see how we both did that at the same time.
Yeah,
you did it.
Exactly.
But if we build good relationships, good friendships, we go out of our way to help our friends. We introduce friends to our other friends and we open up our networks to people. That's what Friendship Fuels is all about. And I might be sat doing some paid work for a client and the phone rings and it's Chris. And I like him. So I pick up the phone. Hi, Chris, what can I do to help you? That's what we say, isn't it? Hi, Chris, what can I do to help you? So we stop doing paid work to help our friends when it has no benefit to us.
And I think another thing that I have a feel I know how you're going to answer this because you talk a lot about real connection. And for me, that goes hand in hand with friendship fueling business. Is that the correct interpretation in your view?
Yes. I think we need to get to know the people. And you've been to our events where I think at a lot of networking events and in business generally, hi, I'm Jamie. I'm from Circle Networks and this is what I do. So my name, company name and what I do. We don't really build a connection with that. And if I introduce myself, let's say I'm an accountant, and I go, hi, I'm Jamie, I'm an accountant. In your head you go, I've already got an accountant.
Yes.
I don't need another one.
Yes.
If I introduce myself, and we encourage people to do this, tell me about you first. So I'm a dad. I've got 3 kids, 13, 19, 21. The eldest is about to finish university. Got a dog. I like being outdoors. I used to be a scuba diver. I like barbecues. I like wine. I like gin. I like beer.
I know you've got a Cocker Spaniel as well.
Yes, that's it. And I love Yorkshire tea. So from that, people can usually find something that they've got in common with me. So it humanizes me. If you've got a Cocker Spaniel, or if you know someone, there you go. Or if you know someone that does, it brings me close to you because people like to deal with people like us, which is one of our brand values, PLU. And it makes it easier to make introductions. So whilst if we use the accountant scenario, so if you meet somebody and you think that I would be a good fit for that, he's just like you. He's got a Cocker Spaniel. Ali, I think he'd be a good accountant for you because blah, blah, blah. It opens doors for us.
So does business actually get done with, with all this friendship stuff? Does business actually get done or is it more, having a few drinks together and having some fun?
No, I think more business gets done by looking out for our friends.
Yes.
There are things that I'll do for people who are friends that I won't do for just a random connection. This is building friendships and building relationships. We'll go out of our way to do stuff for our friends more than we would for just a random connection. If we just meet once, I'm not going to jeopardize my relationship with my best clients just because you ask.
Yeah.
That's the way that it works.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. And I've definitely experienced that myself. And I guess that brings me to paying it forward. I feel like there's a pay it forward attitude a bit. Explain more about what that might mean.
I think in relationships, in business, in friendships, we need to invest first. If I go to an event, and this is where I think networking can be a little bit broken. If I go to an event and turn up and just ask, why would anybody feel like they need to help me? If I invest into that relationship and meet with you and learn a bit more about what you do, and I need to do my own due diligence first, and it depends on what it is. In your context, you work with law firms. I maybe need to read some testimonials about what you do. Even watch some video content from some of your happy clients. Find out about what is a good client versus a bad client for you. And then when I'm comfortable with that, I'll introduce you to my best connections. And I think if I do that first, a bit like if we're in the pub and you buy me a drink, I'm going to offer to buy you one back. Reciprocity kicks in. So the more people I go around helping, and I don't do it expecting something back, but I've experienced over the last few years, the more people that I help, the more people help me back. And it's a nice thing to do. Even if you never help me back, Chris, I feel good by helping you. So I just go around helping people all the time, which makes me feel good. And in return, some of those people help me back.
I think I have helped you back, and it makes me feel so good. I'm taking a mantra. I've been able to help lots of other people. And there is nothing in it for me, really, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel empowered. So I completely understand where you're coming from. When we have conversations with people, how should we move them from just personal stuff onto business?
So I think as part of the getting to know process, there's some good questions that people can ask. So we pass the time of day, we get to know about them, start to learn some of this stuff and have a system or a process where if you tell me that you've got kids or your dog, and what's your dog called?
Bella.
Mine's called Merlin. I just lost Max, we had brothers. So learning that stuff quite often in my video content. So for 10 years, I've been talking about Max and Merlin. And then we lost Max a couple of months ago. And people are like, how's Merlin getting on without Max? It humanizes us. So you start learning that stuff. And I've gone off on a complete tangent and forgot the question.
I think we're talking about, how do you move on from to personal themes, from personal to business, exactly.
So having some good questions to ask. So we like to pass the time of day, and I think in this modern world, it's very easy to go straight to business without the relationship building first. So that's the foundational level, and if you don't have the right foundations in place, things fall over. But if you've got good friendships, so the friendship is the start, but you've got to have one eye on business ultimately, and if I generally encourage people to build relationships with people around a common client. If I can help lawyers, if we use lawyers as an example, I might be a recruiter for lawyers and you're involved in business development and helping people scale their businesses. So we've got that mutual thing. I need to learn about your business, and whilst you might never be a client of mine, why would I want to help you? You deal with all the right kind of people on a daily basis. So there's no extra work for you to help me. I just need to teach you what questions to ask somebody in order to bring me up in conversation. So you might go through your normal business meeting, and at the end of it, just ask them, oh, you seem really busy. Are you planning on recruiting in the next few months? Oh, funny you should mention it, Jamie. We've just been talking about that the other day. So before anybody even goes out to the marketplace to look at other recruiters, you've opened the door for me. I know this great guy called, now I'm not a recruiter, so I'm using this as...
Exactly.
But you can see how just by asking a simple question that's related to what I do at the end, and I say do it at the end because in business, in a business meeting, at the point that we're wrapping up at the end, and I fold my notebook up and I put it down and I might put it in my bag and I'll put my pen away, everyone starts to relax at that point. So the business part is done. I don't need to be worried about buying anything or Chris trying to sell to me. And you're just passing the time of day. I don't suppose you're thinking about recruiting in the next few months. I don't suppose you need more clients. Let me introduce you to Jim because he works with people just like you. Everyone's relaxed and it becomes much easier to open doors for people. So have one or two questions. So if you're going to meetings, if you're watching this, the pay it forward part, how do we help other people first? So just if you've got some key people that you think would be a good fit for you, help them first. Find out a couple of questions that will open a door for them. So if I'm speaking to a law firm and I go, how's business right now? Are you growing? Or how are you getting on with your annual budget? Are you on track? And they go, no, it's really tough right now. Oh, that's interesting. I'm speaking to a friend of mine the other day and he's working with some companies and they're flying right now. maybe Chris might be the person to help you. And I ask a couple of more questions, and I go, well, I can set up an introduction for you.
Wonderful. Yeah,
It's
wonderful.
not hard, is it? But if I go straight in, Chris, thanks for meeting today. You need to come and meet my friend. Well, that feels quite salesy, doesn't it? And I think a lot of people approach it like that. If you tag it onto the end, when the business is done and the meeting's done, it's just a natural part of the conversation. So that's how I move from friendship kind of conversations or things like that to just asking a couple of key questions that open the door for me to make an introduction to somebody else.
How do I go about making an effective introduction so that it is meaningful and it actually does help the person I'm referring to the person I'm referring to?
I talk a lot about the type of people that I want to work with. And I mentioned before PLU, people like us. What's the opposite of that? People not like us. Now, I like to work with nice people. So nice people in business, unfortunately, not everybody falls into that nice category.
Absolutely.
There are rogues and villains out there and people who maybe don't have money, people that don't pay their bills on time, or those pain in the backside clients that are just never happy no matter what you do. Introduce them to somebody else. The nice ones, people that are probably like you and I, nice people to deal with, family-based people, values-led people, people that want to make a difference to other people, they're my kind of people. Now, for me, they're ambitious people. There's a qualifying element to that. I need to teach you what's a good fit for me so that you don't just use the A word and introduce me to anyone.
Yeah.
That you introduce me to my kind of people. And that's my job to teach you that. And if you pass me an introduction to someone that's not a good fit, I go back and I thank you and I say, thanks very much, but they're not quite the right kind of people. And here's why. They're what I don't want and here's what I do want. But I'd love that, just not that. And then have a process. It's my job to teach you, really. And mine's quite easy. It's either invite somebody along to one of our events, which is free, so you're not even selling anything, or I might give you my meeting booking link and say, if we become good referral partners, that I teach you what makes a good client, so you can go, you flick through your diary. I do that like it's a paper-based diary, don't I? You do this on your diary.
Yeah, I'm writing in my notebook here. Yes.
So you go through your diary and you go, oh, I'm seeing Gareth in 2 weeks' time. I think he'd be a good fit for Jamie. At the end of it, you bring me up in conversation and you say, Gareth, how's your network going? Do you need new clients? Would you like any more? And he might go, oh, yeah, I'm looking for some more clients right now. I know this great guy, Jamie. In fact, he offers a free trial for his networking events. Would you like me to book you on? I'm going to this one on Wednesday. Would you like to come as well?
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
It's having the first step. Nowhere did I say, get people to join circle networks. So I think people are naturally reserved to joining things, to parting with money and stuff like that. So it's having a couple of steps, and we just want them to take the first step. First step, yes, I'm interested. Then book to come to an event. And then we might have a conversation afterwards about it. And you might go, Jamie, I've booked Gareth on to come to this event. Here's some stuff about him. You might want to connect with him on LinkedIn beforehand. And then when he turns up at the event and I go, oh, Gareth's a nice guy. He's got kids like me. He lives nearby. He's got similar values. Then the relationship. It's like setting somebody up on a blind date.
Yeah.
They've got to be the right fit because it could go horribly wrong.
Absolutely.
So it's business dating that we're in.
I think that's actually brings me to a good point, because you do, I think, as a person making those introductions, you need to have a bit of a think first and think, are these two people going to gel? Can they actually help each other? You don't want to waste their time.
And there's some qualifying questions that I probably need to teach you. So I need to tell you what's a good fit and what's a bad.
Yes.
But you need to know what service I offer, what I charge for it, and probably what are the steps that I'm going to take somebody through, so that it might be that I charge £10 million. If you've got a good relationship with...
That's a lot in terms.
Yeah, it might be, yeah. Would that be 50 million dirhams?
Something like that, yes.
So it might be that I say to you, look, if they don't have 50 million dirhams, don't introduce me. But if you've got a good relationship with Gareth, you can ask that question before you make the introduction and save the two of us a few hours of our life.
Brilliant. Very, very good advice. You had said earlier about, one of the key things about introducing people and having those, conversations that are a bit more in depth beyond just the very shallow stuff is to hang around at the end. How do you do that online? Because obviously in-person events, have a coffee afterwards, have a chat. How have you found that with online networking? How do you do it?
I use all networking to filter, whether it's structured networking events, going to an expo, going to a conference. I have a goal when I go networking. I just want to meet one good person. Now, I have a belief that in most networking, most people go to sell. You need clients? Oh, Chris, you should go networking.
Yeah.
So we're programmed to go networking to find clients. The only problem with that is everybody else goes networking to find clients. So everyone goes to sell, no one goes to buy. And that's where it's pitch, and everyone gets frustrated. If you go networking to meet some people who deal with a similar client to you, and then you go, oh, we should get together for a coffee. So I don't do it at the event. I'm filtering at the event to hit it off with somebody. Oh, do you know, I like him. He's got a Cocker Spaniel called Bella. I've got a dog. We must be similar kind of people. He's got kids. I've got kids. We deal with the same kind of client. Shall we meet for a coffee? Whether that's a virtual coffee or an in-person coffee, it's arrange a follow-up meeting. And that's the next step for us. And it might be that if we've got the same client in mind, then I start to get to know you and I find out some stuff and I'm perhaps going to do my due diligence, check out your website, look at your reviews and your recommendations, ask you some questions about it. And I might even go, oh, actually, straight away, there's that connection. You might come highly recommended by someone that I know. And then I'll go, here's a couple of people. Would they be a good introduction for you? That's the next step. And it's always little steps. I think people want to go from, I've met you, to get me a client.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't quite work like that.
It doesn't.
And people get frustrated. And then they'll go, and I was reading something earlier, everybody wants shortcuts. AI is the new thing. I can just link this thing that's going to just do everything for me. It's going to send emails. It's going to create content. It's going to create images. It's going to create videos. I don't need to do anything. I'll just sit back and wait. And then that doesn't work. And then they move on to the next thing. And I did a LinkedIn post on this the other day, a few months ago. And it was one of my top reaching posts. I didn't think I needed this, but someone recommended it to me. And oh my God, I've just signed up for it and I'm getting all this stuff from it. I said, no one ever.
No.
And the number of people that read it,
Yeah.
and then, oh, you got me with that. Because everyone's looking for
absolutely
that new, quick thing, they get in before everybody else. And at the end of the day, most of our clients, and I say most, not all, most of our clients come from one-on-one conversations like this. We would all love to write a post on social media and the till start ringing. We send an email out and thousands of people sign up. I don't know anyone like that, do you?
No. Although I'd say they're all useful tools that you need to use, but they're not the only tools.
But it's not magic like that. You can't just write a post and get business. You'll write a post that will move people on to the next step, which might be that they direct message you or you get into conversation in some way. Ultimately, our goal is to get one-on-one conversations, a phone call, a Zoom, or face-to-face. That's the goal. And then we can start to talk about what's the problem that you've got. I've got this solution. That person over there thinks that we're a good fit. Would you be interested?
Brilliant. Makes sense. Okay, so one thing we've talked about of online versus in-person networking. I know that Circle Networks was a UK-founded network, and now you are growing internationally. You couldn't do that in person very easily, I suppose. So how are you finding that expansion? How are you finding moving abroad?
It's interesting. I think when I first started Circle Networks, I was only going to have one networking group because I coach people on how to build a network. And I didn't like what was around at the time. So I thought, I'm going to run this group for my people to come along to help each other. Before I launched the first one, 3 people said, can we run a group like that?
Right.
And then that's how we started having other people. So we have licensees involved in it. That's grown now. We've got 45 groups. We started off just in the UK. I never wanted to be international. A friend of mine, Stefan Melander, lives in Sweden. He approached me and said, I've been following, and he had been following me, just asking questions. Could I launch this in Sweden? Yeah, sure. So we went international. That felt quite exciting and daunting. A friend of mine introduced me to somebody. We launched in South Africa. Then somebody introduced me to somebody in Dubai. We launched in Dubai. We had a conversation a few months ago about launching in Spain. We're starting to attract some people in Spain now. We're here in Dubai talking about this. Eva's just introduced me to her sister in the US. We're having some conversations about that. Just building good relationships with people is opening doors for us. And what I've found is, when I first started, my ambition was just there because I didn't have the belief in me. It was new. It was a new concept. And then as the business is growing, my ambition is growing. And it's growing probably disproportionately because now my vision is up here, and there is no reason why our format cannot reach around the world.
So have you found cultural differences as you've, moved from the UK to Spain to the UAE to South Africa? Are people doing networking differently, or is it pretty much the same principles?
It's the same around the world.
Wow.
Now, language will become a barrier at some point. Perhaps it'll be a blocker in certain countries. In France, they would want to speak French, probably for their networking. So at some point, we'll introduce language-specific groups and stuff. But English is prevalent as a common language.
Yes.
If we just went around everywhere that spoke English in the world. And I think one of the things that's changed as a result of COVID is that geography is not the restriction that it used to be. Pre-COVID, all my networking, all my network, all my business and clients was from within an hour's radius of where I lived. I wouldn't drive 2 or 3 hours, let alone get on a plane to go networking. I had no appetite, no interest. And certainly in the UK, I think there is an island mentality.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I only do business here. And for a lot of people, largely, that might just be in England or Wales or Scotland. And then you realise there's a whole world of nice people out there. Why am I not tapping into this? And I think you and I never would have met had we not started networking online with Zoom.
Absolutely.
And start to build some good relationships. And it's been interesting seeing you building relationships with people that perhaps you never would have met had it not been for online networking. It's just another means. Now, people say to me, yeah, but online's not as good as in person. That's fine. But you're not going to drive. You and I never would have met had it not been for online networking. And you were just mentioning someone that you'd met through Circle Networks and passed you an introduction that turned into a client.
Absolutely, yes.
And more that's happening. I find online networking is good enough. Now, we can't pick up on all the body language things, but I think very quickly we've learned how to build rapport with people on Zoom over the last few years. And we're more aware of this and people's gestures and nodding and smiling and if they're looking and paying attention or not. And then that leads to other meetings outside of that, other conversations and building good relationships. Is it as good as in person? No. I can't stand next to you and take a selfie online. But it's good enough.
True.
Now, at some point, you do get to meet in person. One person will drive, travel, fly.
And or maybe take a boat, take a ship.
Yeah. So, and then at some point, you cement that relationship in person and it becomes part of it. But what I've found is I'm very precious of my time. And I realized that I used to waste 10 hours a week, at least, just driving to work and back. Just driving to work and back when I had a job. And then when I think about some of the in-person networking I used to do, it was a half an hour drive there. I would always arrive early, so that's potentially wasted time. Then there's the event. Then I'd hang around for a bit afterwards and then drive back. So a 90-minute networking event became 3 hours. I can do 2 networking events in that time.
Absolutely.
Or follow up with some people and have some conversations and perhaps help them win some business.
I've definitely found that myself. The online networking is so much more time effective and you get more done. You actually get more done because you meet quality people and you just follow up with those who you really want to have a relationship with, where you see synergies, where you find value, or who you want to be friends with. So I think it's been very effective from my point of view. Jamie, we could talk all day, but duty's calling, I think. So
the last bit, let me add. The difference between sales and referrals. We've all experienced going to the movies and watching a new film and then going away and telling all our friends, oh my God, you need to go and watch the new Jason Bourne film. It's amazing. There is nothing in it for me by recommending that. But if I know you and we like each other, based on that, you might go and watch that movie. A new restaurant opens. Oh, you need to go there and try this food, and we go and do it. Nothing comes back to me. But that level of enthusiasm, that passion for it, what if you did that for your friends in business? So I meet somebody and I go, oh, you're thinking about growing your business? I definitely think you need to meet Chris. I know that this, and this, and I have that conversation about it, and I put some enthusiasm into it. If you approach that person directly, I think that they're worried about being sold to. So think about the LinkedIn messages that people receive every day. Thanks for connecting. I saw that you're in this. I can help you achieve that. Delete.
Absolutely.
Right?
Move to spam.
Yeah, it is. We're not interested in being sold to, and that's what that feels like. Whereas if I get in touch with somebody and say, oh, you should speak to Chris, oh, really? And if they trust me and they like me and they're in my circle, they'll happily have a meeting with you, and that opens that door. And it avoids being in that competitive situation where someone's gone out to Google or they've asked on LinkedIn, can someone recommend? And you're in a much better situation without really any competition, just to explain what it is that we do. Have that thing, fix that problem, win a new client. That's why I think referrals are much better than trying to sell.
I think you've sold me. You've sold me. I'm definitely going to join. Well, you referred me. I don't know. So just to wrap us up, Jamie, if people do want to join Circle Networks and try it out, can they do so? How do you do it?
Okay, so if you go to circlenetworks.co.uk, we've got an events tab. Click on that. It's a free trial. So we don't encourage anybody to just join. Come along and try it out. We have 90 currently as we record this, and it's growing all the time. 90 online events a month on different days at different times.
Wow.
3, 4, 5 events a day some days. Just come and try it. There's no prep required. It's come along and have conversations, and we will put people into small breakout rooms where you'll have a conversation. And we explain this at every event. Tell us a bit about you outside of work. Give us an example of a client, and then how can we help you? It's conversation-led networking that builds relationships.
Amazing.
Great.
So if there were three tips in 60 seconds, you could wrap us up with 3 tips you'd give all of our viewers and listeners today about networking. What would you say?
Okay. You don't even have to have a pitch to go networking. Just go and ask good questions of other people. Most people don't turn up wanting to help others. So if you do, if I turn up at a networking event and I ask, what's your ideal client? What's the biggest problem you've got? How can I help you? Can we have another meeting? You're going to want to meet with me. And then at that point, when we have that meeting and we have to go through that, you're then naturally going to ask me that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just become very interested in you, rather than trying to be really interesting, it's going to lead to me having meetings with people. So that's the first bit. Then we need to know what we want. And that sounds really mercenary. But I've got to be able to describe what a great client is for me. And the better I am at doing that, the more likely it is that you're able to go, oh yeah, I know somebody I can introduce you to. And I say to a lot of people, not everybody can do this, but it should be something that you could type into LinkedIn and see if you're already connected to somebody like that. Might be CEO of a hotel. It could be anything, but something that's very specific that people could search. Might even be a name of a person. So know what it is that you want. It could be that you're going networking because your business is growing and you need help and you might need some supplies. And then the last bit is probably to have a process that people can book a meeting with you. The number of times that I see people go ping pong with emails or messages back, are you free at 3 o'clock on Thursday? And a day goes by and Thursday's gone. And you go, no, but I can do Monday at 2. So if you've just got a booking link,
Yes.
and then give that to the person who's going to introduce you and say, just get a meet, so help somebody become an appointment setter for you. So rather than making an email introduction, nobody wants more emails.
No.
They just
I
want
don't.
they just want meetings in the diary. So if you
Yes.
can equip somebody with the means to get a meeting in your diary, and then they say, get me a meeting, then ring me and tell me about that person. So go and ask good questions. That's all you need to do, and follow up with the right people. Most people don't follow up. Have a good idea of what it is that you're looking for. So your ideal client, your ideal referral, and then have a process for people to make introductions to you.
Brilliant. Jamie, those are very, very useful tips, and very grateful for you joining us today in Muhami Matters. Definitely living to the value, and I'm proud to be your friend, and definitely friendship fuels business. I think that's what I've got to do. And now I'm going to be more buffalo and turn towards the storm, which is probably oncoming.
Definitely for me, because I'm about to go back to the UK.
Oh, well, hopefully it's not too literal.
Thank
Thank you for joining us, Jamie. Much appreciated. So thank you for joining us today on this episode of Muhami Matters, brought to you by CJA Consulting. I hope today's conversation with Jamie has brought you some inspiration and you've taken away his 3 top tips. If you found his insights valuable, please subscribe to Muhami Matters, leave a review, connect with us on socials, and we're committed to bringing you good content, good people that are going to help drive your business forward. So for now, I'm Chris Adams. Stay informed, stay empowered, and remember, friendship fuels business. Thank you for joining us on Muhami Matters. If you found today's episode valuable, subscribe and connect with me to stay updated. Join me again soon as we continue to bring you credible insights, practical strategies, and trusted advice to empower your professional journey. I'm Chris Adams. Until next time, stay informed and stay empowered.